But I just want to make a quick, like, uh, holiday themed episode. I got my scarf and everything. Uh, and I wanted to talk about a game that I kind of feel like fits with the holiday, at least. Uh, so I wanted to talk about Little Inferno. If you didn't know what this game is, Little Inferno is a game by Tomorrow Corporation, in which basically throw items into a you throw items into this like virtual fireplace and you basically just burn them. But uh, so this is an interesting game though because I think I purchased this game about 3 times, and I don't usually do this for games, but it's like now that I think about it, like it was probably only twice. But the fact that I at one point had this game on my phone and then I bought it for the Switch again, and it's like only $20. And I feel like for $20 it's a pretty good game. Like you can complete it within like 2 sittings, essentially. Um, there really isn't that much story, so I guess I'll just jump right into gameplay. It's like I said, you throw down items into this virtual fireplace and you just light them on fire. And that's basically it. It's surprisingly simple. Like you drag your finger over an item to start burning it. There's like little tiny little like spiders that like go everywhere that like if you like click on them, you get like free coins and stuff. And then you use the coins that you get from not only like the like the tiny little things around you, but also burning items to get more money so you can get more items. Like it it's an ongoing cycle. But it's not really the gameplay that's important. It's more of the atmosphere. Uh, the best way that I can say to describe this game is cozy. Like it, like I was never the type of kid that like played with fire, but I did go on a lot of camping trips when I was little, and it always felt very comforting to sit right next to a fire and just kind of relax. It was, and so like, uh, and so it honestly like brings back like a very nostalgically cozy feeling just playing this game. And I feel like that the game knows like how cozy it is. It knows how um I guess a better way to put it is that the game overall has this sort of I know we know what we're doing with this sort of vibe. When you get into the story though, like it's got very clear progression. It's you get these catalogs in which it has all the items listed, and you have to buy each item at least once before you can go on to the next one. And you start going into it, and uh, effectively by the end of it, when you've collected all of them, that's not all you have to do. Like it's almost like the the collectibles, the, um, the collectible like trophy stuff is hardwired into the game because the game basically tells you like, hey, get these sort of like combinations and see what happens. Like, and most of these combinations are word puzzles. Like the very first one you get is springtime, and it's flower and clock mixed together, and it's like, sure. But then it gets into like some really obtuse stuff, especially when you have so many catalogs at that point where it's like it can be literally like it has to be like one item for the new one, then one item for like even like three back, and it's surprisingly fun. Like again, it's one of those games that you kind of like sit down, you just enjoy. It's not really, it's not really a game that is. I don't want to say that it's a game that doesn't want to be finished because the ending feels like that it's very distinct. Um, but how about we actually go into it? So as you're going through the game, you kind of get told by your neighbor like, hey, there's like a secret combination that you can do, in which like these items will affect different things about the little Inferno, and if you use all three of them once, it basically just over all four of them at once. It overloads the system, and then your house blows up. So you're sitting there, and your character basically starts is able to be like moved around by like dragging him, and you slowly make your way over, like past a mailman that's basically like, hey, I've been to your house a few times. Like I've just been leaving presents like next to you. Oh, sorry, like packages like right next to you, and like it actually gives you the exact number that it took to finish the game, which I find is kind of funny. There's also like a really good piece of the dialogue with the receptionist when you go into the actual like building, but you make your way slowly to the actual Tomorrow Corporation. And when you get up to the highest area, the CEO that keeps sending you messages, like talking about the little Inferno fireplace of like how well you're doing, she basically gives a a cryptic statement of what do you do when you receive everything you've ever dreamed of? And her response is dream bigger, go further, as she basically leaves the company to get into a spaceship to launch herself into space. And you're basically just left there to kind of just wander until you find the weather guy that, like, every once in a while, like, gives you updates on the fact that the sun had just been seen for the first time in a while. And kind of just drift off with the balloon. And it basically gives off two distinct messages. One, the more overt one of you gotta start thinking outside the box a little bit more because the more that you are constrained to your area, the less you think about more creative things out there. Maybe that's just how I got it, but it wanted to tell that while also at the same time basically saying like, hey, you just finished the game. What are you gonna do now? And it's got this sort of adamant feeling of, hey, go outside a little bit. Like you've been playing this game a bit, and that sort of like ending message is surprisingly funny. But overall, when it comes to the actual like game, like it's a nice fitting ending for the game, especially if you're like, hey, I got all the combinations and I got this free mouse pad, or like, hey, I deliberately um held a bunch of stuff in my inventory, and it's like because you didn't know if you were gonna use it later. And I was like, hey, I just happen to have this like free hug coupon. Like, at the end of it all, the game's over. You 100% the game, which was a very easy thing to do. What are you going to do now? And that sort of, normally that sort of message would be met with like a sort of like cold realism. But again, even when it's talking about this, the game is cozy. It it makes you feel nice about completing the game. And at the end of the day, it's it's a game I honestly feel that people should play, especially around the holidays, in which it honestly feels like that sort of environment. Um, I'm gonna give this game a gold. It's very subjective, and I know that people would most likely just give it a silver, but I give it a gold. Um, any game that has sort of like a collection aspect, I instantly really like, but I feel like the atmosphere of the game really did something to help me enjoy this game. Anyway, thanks to you guys for watching. Um, thank you for Flash for deciding to edit this at the last minute, I guess. Um, and thank anybody who's watching. I guess I'll see you later.